Tonight on Prime Business, Finance Minister Ayitey charges African Development Bank to position itself to take control of Africa's economy from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund.
We must remedy a situation where any financial institution, including the Bretton Woods, has a deeper foothold on our continent than our own Africa Development Bank.
The African Development Finance institutions have been meeting to explore ways to ensure that the private sector is not crowded out of affordable financing for development projects.
Government cannot do it alone. So obviously, our expectation is that there will be a number of approaches that are discussed during this session.
And business activities in parts of the capital city affected after hours of rain destroys wells at some commercial areas.
Destroyed many of my goods, so this is one of the only one I survived, but the rest is in the repairer's place. So, and what I want to try to say, we are passing through many difficult times.
All these stories and more coming up shortly. We begin with commodities. Tonight, Finance Minister Ayitey has charged the African Development Bank to change the narrative where other financial institutions like the Bretton Woods institutions have taken control of development issues on the continent. According to him, the AFDB, which is the largest finance institution on the continent, must strengthen itself to take control of financing. Ayitey gave the charge in his opening speech at the ongoing annual meeting of the African Development Bank in Accra.
The 7th annual meetings of the African Development Bank Group are taking a look at the resilience of African economies and growth post-COVID-19. Meetings are being attended by more than 300 stakeholders and delegates from the African continent and other development partners outside the region. Delivering his welcome address, Minister of Finance Ayitey said the bank must be able to mobilize support for growth on the continent.
We must remedy a situation where any financial institution, including the Bretton Woods, has a deeper foothold on our continent than our own Africa Development Bank. Given the current local and global dynamics, it has become imperative that we vigorously mobilize resources through innovative means, including from the digital space. We must simply uncover this potential to recover and build forward better. This bank must be unshackled to raise competitive financing for its members. We must lend support to the proposed reforms in respect of the regulations around ADF funds to enable the bank to leverage these funds to raise more funds and unlend at lower rates to all of our countries.
President Akufo-Addo called on colleague African presidents to make efforts to end the foreign illicit financial transactions and trade indulgence by multinationals which have denied the continent of the needed tax revenue.
It is time we work to address and remove the structure to our development. And we must also deal with tax dodging and illegitimate commercial transactions by multinationals, which account for 60% of the $88 billion United States dollars of illicit financial outflows from the continent annually, and other relationships which inhibit our development.
Meanwhile, President of the African Development Bank Group, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, assured that the bank under his leadership will continue with many of its investments aimed at ending hunger on the continent.
Development finance institutions in Africa have converged in Accra to explore best ways of financing development projects on the continent. The NIB is hosting the event, of which the CEO, Mr. Sarpong, has stressed the need for DFIs across the continent to focus on innovation post-COVID-19. Here's more in this report. With a hike in inflation across Africa and Ghana leading with a 23.6% inflation hike in April alone, the cost of doing business and financing development projects has not just skyrocketed but also shelved various initiatives for growth and development. Speaking to Joy Business at the 48th annual general meeting of the Association of African Development Finance Institutions, CEO of the National Investment Bank, Samuel Sarpong, says the bank is repositioning its priorities to focus more on private sector funding moving forward.
The challenges, the funding that government provided for COVID and the current supply chain constraints and their impact on the economies of various countries. These have exacerbated the situation, and as a result there's a need for us to find solutions to address it. And that's where DFIs, including National Investment Bank, come into play.
What has been the intervention from the National Investment Bank so far, even ahead of this particular, annual conference?
NIB is currently in a unique situation. If you do recall, NIB was set up to support industrialization of Ghana. In the past, it has, over the period, it has strayed into commercial banking. But the government, which is the majority shareholder of NIB, has mandated that NIB returns back to its original mandate of supporting industries. So currently, NIB is going through a transformation program to reposition the bank to be able to support industry. So it's a journey that NIB is undertaking at the moment.
COVID-19 unleashed multiple shocks on the global economy, bringing several economies to a synchronized standstill that triggered a sizable economic contraction in 2022. On the way forward, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, posited that DFIs have a unique opportunity to be proactive and effective in the financial ecosystem, especially in Africa.
At various ways in terms of guarantees by international development agencies, because the government cannot do it alone. So obviously our expectation is that there will be a number of approaches that are discussed during this session. As well, there's going to be discussions or presentations on the challenges that other DFIs in other countries have faced and how they've transformed their DFIs to become more profitable. And so from NIB's perspective, we're looking at opportunities from learning from our colleagues in other countries in order to take the lessons that can be learned.
This year's General Assembly offers a unique opportunity to identify challenges relating to resource mobilization and devise solutions for raising suitable development funding to support the growth of Africa's respective countries and the continent as a whole. Now, business activity in parts of the central district of Accra have been affected by hours of rainfall. Some retailers at the Tiptoe Lane, a busy commercial area, have had their wares destroyed by the downpour. James Shen was there to speak to affected shop owners who've lost thousands of cedis.
How has the rain affected you as a retailer?
A lot, because this is the second time. That was Saturday, we experienced the same problem, and today too it's not easy because all our goods are damaged. We cannot do anything about it because the shop, where shop our goods they, water fill everywhere. So we don't know what to say.
Yeah, so from the Bank of Ghana yesterday, the policy rate is now 19%, which means there will be an increase in interest rate if you are supposed to go for loans from some of these banks. I don't know, this is your state. Would you want to go to the banks for loans or something of that sort?
No, because the loan alone is another thing where they also put a huge amount of rates. So we cannot go to bank. We will manage. This is not our first time. Last year it happened and this year also. So we will work hard to get what we have already lost. Last year we I don't know, bankers came to our shop like they won't help us, they won't give us money where we could pay small rate of interest, but they took our number, they did so many things, but we did not see any money. So right now we don't have anyone, we don't have any bank. Even right now if you go to bank, they will ask you property. What property do you have? Me, I don't have any property. This is my property. So there is no need for us to go to bank, okay? Because we won't get any loan. They will just waste your time. So we won't go.
So this is the story of a retailer here who is actually into the sales of phone accessories. She's been affected, and it happened last year. It has also happened this year. But it appears they've tried all possible means, but attempt to get back to their feet seem to prove futile. Let's get to some retailers and know what's happening to them too. I've seen you having some of your laptops here. Why? The rain has taken over your shop?
The rain have destroyed many of my goods, so this is one of the only one I survived, but the rest is in the repairer's place. So, and what I want to try to say, we are passing through many difficult time. The rain have spoiled many things, and right now you are still telling me about the bank. If you want to take loan, you are increasing. Why are you increasing things? You're making life difficult for people to live. Why? And people are suffering, dying, different time of things. And look at the rain. Look at people business destroyed because of the water. And right now you are still saying you are increasing. You are increasing. Why don't you reduce? Why the African government are doing that? Always increasing. Why don't you reduce? Can we wake up one morning and discover that the government have decreased something? That would be a very good news to we. And you are making life difficult for us. Look at the rain. Look at what people. Look at people. Billions of Ghana cedis destroyed.
When you look here, you could see the extent of damage the rain has caused to some of these retailers. Talk to me. You've seen some of the damage here. First and foremost, what are you into?
We are selling phones, accessories, chargers, covers, and anything. Our phone.
So, how have you been affected generally?
We are things more spoiled. Yanyama baby, I say. In no about Yanyama baby, I say.
Okay, so
we need help. We need help. Yeah.
So if you are to quantify what has been destroyed so far, how much would you say has been lost so far?
Over millions. Over 30, over 50 million is gone.
Speaking to a section of the retailers here at Circle, that is the tiptoe lane here at Circle, they tell you that they've been gravely affected by the rain. You could see the extent with which some of their stuff or what they sell have been destroyed by this rain. Some are willing to go to the bank for loans regardless the situation they find themselves with respect to the increase in the interest rate. Some also not ready for the loans from these banks. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
Well, you heard James Ishen talk about the fact that some of these traders are reluctant in seeking loan facilities. It's part of the reason because the Bank of Ghana has increased the policy rate to 19%, even though the private sector is raising concerns that it will be priced out of the access to affordable credit. Take a listen to a section of informal sector traders who've also been speaking to my colleague, Beverly Bro.
Previously, taking a loan to do business was helpful. You were able to make enough profit to cater for your children and other projects. But currently, people take loans and are unable to pay them. They end up running away or burning down their shops. In my opinion, the decision by the Bank of Ghana will not help.
Actually, it will really cause a lot of harm because the dollar has increased and now the business is very slow, marketing is very slow, people are complaining of financial crisis. So if Bank of Ghana have increased their prices, business is going to be very, very, very slow, and buying and purchasing is going to be very hard for us in the system because right now even things are not going on well. So if they've increased their money or whatever they want to do, it will really affect the business, it will really affect the economy.
So say the normal koyi, but makasi koyi totally.
Things are very hard. Ghana is retrogressing. Many business owners depend on loans to run their businesses. But due to high interest rate, people hesitate to take loans. The government and the finance minister must act swiftly.
It's not fair. Government also be found financial minister for
I think people will stop going for the loans because nowadays, when you are working, if you are not getting any money, seriously, when we come here, we will sit here the whole day and nobody will come here to come and buy anything. You see, and if you are running a business and the business is not moving, how can you go and take loan to, put in it or add it to your money? You see, so. I'm not sure that people will go for loan nowadays because when you are working nowadays, it's very hard.
Major players in the capital market across West Africa have intensified efforts to integrate the operations to enhance cross-border trading. According to the stakeholders, the move, which began about 5 years ago, was derailed due to uneven regulations among capital markets in the region. Here's more.
The African Securities Regulators Association is the regional association for capital market regulators in West Africa with the mandate of facilitating cooperation and consultation among capital markets in the West African region. Speaking at the first day of the two-day West Africa Capital Market Conference 2021 in Accra, Reverend Daniel Ogbami-Tete stressed that countries with stronger capital markets have decided to start the integration and later allow others to join.
Now, the interest in having an integrated capital market in the ECOWAS region is that it affords issuers are those who will come to the market to raise capital. It affords investors, those who have money to invest, a wider scope. Okay, so if let's say you're a company in Ghana and we have achieved the kind of integration we desire and you're raising money, you have people in, let's say, Nigeria or Cote d'Ivoire, some other member state of the ECOWAS, who would be able to participate in, for instance, the IPO. Okay, so it would mean, for instance, that an issuer will have more opportunity to raise capital, to expand business, and that will feed into the growth of the economy.
The conference brought together relevant stakeholders and experts, including but not limited to regulatory agencies, market operators, interregional economic bodies, and stock exchange managers. Eko Afezi is the managing director of the Ghana Stock Exchange. He emphasizes the need for a quick integration of the capital market on the continent.
We got to the stage where we're done sponsored asset rules approved by the regulators. We moved to the second phase, which to us is the most important one, where we can allow brokers to trade across and also allow IPOs to trade across. We did the rules approved by the West African regulators. ECOWAS came in, wanted to do it as an ECOWAS project. Anytime we got to the stage where certain decisions had to be taken in order to get this rolling, then we had issues with the Francophone countries. I don't know whether it's because of their systems they have there, because they have one currency, one central bank, and also, don't forget, they're integrated already. So it might not be their priority. So the way forward, and that's what I've been discussing with the regulators, is let's still go ahead with the integration and let the countries that are ready join.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has urged operators in the capital market in West Africa to develop a strong regulatory framework that will enable cross-border investment on the market. Now, this, he says, will facilitate a smooth integration of the capital markets in the sub-region. Take a listen.
Successful capital market integration, there ought to be important technical regulatory acts that meet the need for consensus on sound prudential principles and practices. Importantly, there is a need to develop regulatory policies and protect investors, improve efficiency of markets, and protect the markets from systemic risk. The development of regulatory policies at this system level should avoid regulatory arbitrage, facilitate risk sharing, and encourage more competition that results in tangible outcomes. I therefore urge WASRA and its member jurisdictions to make the best use of the tools presented by the International Organization of Securities Commissions to build coherent supervisory frameworks and well-established channels of communication across countries.
Now, the Stanford Seed Transformation Network Ghana has launched its updated business directory to enable individuals and businesses to access a vast catalogue of member companies spread over 16 sectors of the economy. President of the network, Linda Ampa, indicated that the directory is to provide businesses in the network and help them attract investments. There is more.
Having a business list in a directory, credibility. Those are important for businesses, especially in today's competitive business environment. Reason Stanford Seed Transformation Network Ghana has launched its updated business directory to give member companies that are experiencing exponential transformation exposure. Users would have information of member companies and services they provide. Linda Ampa is president of the Stanford Seed Transformation Network Ghana and founder of Cadlin Fashions.
We launched our second directory. This is not the first. The objective is to promote members of our network. We believe that it is important to let people know who you are and what you do, and that's the objective. So we hope to put it out for everybody to see, and we're hoping that it will draw businesses, investment, basically give them exposure. So that's the objective of having this directory. We intend to have it in all our missions abroad and also other non-governmental agencies within our country.
As part of the network's Community Impact Initiative, 3 students were awarded full scholarships during the event under the network's scholarship fund to pursue higher education at the University of Ghana, the University of Professional Studies, and Ho Technical University. Theophilus Kuonu is one of the beneficiaries.
I'm very happy because this has been a dream come true for me. Since I was a kid, anytime I'm going to school, my mom used to pray that I get everything, God's protection, favor in the sight of man and God, and a scholarship. And it's unfortunate that I'm in level 300 before getting this scholarship. But I'm very happy, and I'm very, very happy. I want to thank the members of this network because this is the moment I get a scholarship.
The Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, has held a regional sensitization tour of the northern region. The forum was to untap the economic potential and opportunities existing within the region, as well as educate the people on the functions of the center. It was also to sensitize MMDAs and the traditional authorities on the need to make land available for investment purposes.
The forum brought together small and medium-scale enterprises, metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, district coordinating directors, among other stakeholders. It was to offer them the knowledge on how to grow, promote, and improve their businesses. The Director of Investor Service, GIPC, Edward Ashon Latte, said the northern region had just 3 projects and there was the need to do more to attract investors.
Opportunities for profiling and promotion. During my presentation, you saw on the screen for Northern Region since 2019 we registered only 3 projects. But if you compare that to the vast resources that the region has, I believe that we can do a lot more. And we can only do that by identifying the projects, profiling them, and marketing them to the investment community, be it Ghanaians or foreigners, or sometimes the finance houses. So we need to identify the opportunities, profile them, and then market them to the business community. If you tell somebody you come to Northern Region, they are vast lands for agri, that is not enough. That's stage. So now we go out there with project documents, bankable projects, which we then sell to potential investors.
The Northern Regional Minister, Alhaji Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu, called for partnership to harness the potentials available in the region.
We all agree that the Northern region, apart from this agri sector, we have very little in the sector of manufacturing processing, and that is why we are calling for partnerships.
That'll be it for the bulletin. We'll leave you with international business news, after which we have Prime Sports. Do stay with Joy News.